Good morning, good morning. Welcome into the room. Come on, come on. Let's talk this morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on into the room this morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on into the room this morning. Hey, hey, hey. Come on into the room this morning. I'm running a little behind this morning, but I'm here. Nevertheless, I showed up. Good morning. Good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Welcome into the room this morning. Come on in, let's talk about your feelings. Let's talk about how they matter too. I'm on this morning. I got a hot topic I want to share with you guys, and I want to talk about where I'm coming from with this topic. Your feelings matter too. In my book, chapter 3 of my book says my feelings matter. After reaching the age of 44, I found myself in a place where I did not really even realize that I had gotten to the point where I've been a people pleaser for so long that I didn't even pay attention. Good morning. I didn't even pay attention to how my feelings anymore. I just was doing everything else for everybody else, trying to make them happy, and not realizing that I was to the point where I was neglecting my own feelings. And I had to really trace the root of how did I get to the point where I'm 44 years old and somebody has to remind me that my feelings matter. Well, so many times we try to appease other people, trying to make sure, oh, well, are you settled? Especially as women, we try to make sure, are you okay? Are you okay? Everybody else okay? And then you find yourself in a position where you're neglecting you and you don't realize that your feelings are just as important as somebody else. And I want to just talk about, what could put you in that mindset. Help me understand, are you in a place where you feel healthy enough that you realize that your feelings matter? Or are you in the same boat I was in where you've allowed trying to make sure that the world around you was safe and got to a point where you start neglecting your own feelings? Start to put yourself in a position where you don't even really think about you anymore because you're so self-serving and you're so selfless. You're such a servant at heart, such a intimate person that you forget about you. Let's talk about it. We're shining light on gray areas. We're talking about things that people don't often discuss, but they need to, because even in that, even if you making everybody healthy and you neglecting yourself, that's still not a wise place to be. It's not healthy, and we have to get to a point where we have to understand that there is a way to make sure that you preserve your feelings as well, and not sometimes Some battles, of course, when you're dealing with preserving your feelings, some battles are not necessary, but you know that there are certain things that you're going to have to take a stand on when it comes down to protecting how you feel and what it is that you are willing, how far you're willing to go, and what you're willing to, just like in a relationship, when it comes down to a marriage and anything like that, you pick your battles. Some things you're going to be willing to say, okay, I can compromise on that. I'm good with it. But then other things that you're going to have to say, hey, listen, no, I'm taking my stance on this. I feel this way strongly about it, and I'm being led by the Spirit of God to not compromise in this area. So I want to talk about it. I want some people to come into the room. Let's have a healthy dialogue this morning about preserving your feelings, about doing what's right, to be fair to you, not just to everybody else, not just to make somebody else feel like, oh, well, what they want matters, and who cares what it costs me, who cares how it impacts me in the long run. No, we're not going to do that anymore. Good morning. Welcome into the room. My name is Renata. I go by Queen Fitness on this app. I am the author of Breaking Free from Invisible Bars, and I want to talk about a topic that is often ignored. People don't really realize you get to the point where you're trying to please everybody around you, and you put your own self in a position where you're not even preserving your feelings, how it impacts you, what you're thinking about. And so I want to talk to that person who may be in that place of people pleasing, and maybe in a place of trying to do everything politically correct, and not really thinking about the long-term effect of really preserving how you feel in the midst of it. Truth of the matter is, God wants us to do things decently and in order. We have to have a healthy balance when it comes down to taking care of other people and preserving our own feelings. We can't just get to a point where we're not even concerned about how we feel or what we need, but always aiding everybody else and putting yourself in a place where eventually you'll find yourself being bitter and angry because nobody's thinking about you. And it ain't really everybody. That's self-preservation is something that it relies on your core. You have to take care of you. You can't rely on somebody else to do what God is giving you. He said, beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in health, even as your soul prospers. It's your responsibility to take care of you. It's your responsibility to make sure that when you do it with love and balance. You can't get to a point where you're just to a point where you're just trying to do everything for everybody. And if God ain't letting you do it, it'll be harmful more than good when he's showing you, hey, no, he's giving you red flags by letting you know, hey, don't do that. Don't go that way. You feeling uncomfortable, but you're still doing it because somebody else is happy. You bringing somebody else's peace. Now we gotta be mindful that we don't get caught up in this. So come on, just talk to me. Let's utilize the chat this morning. This is a open dialogue. I really would love for somebody else's insight on whether they have any issues with preserving their feelings, or how did you handle it when you got to the point where you had to really realize that your feelings matter too. Have you ever even reached a place where you recognize that your feelings matter? Let's talk about it. This is I want to talk this morning. I want to see where y'all head at. I need some insight and some dialogue. So utilize the chat this morning. Let's talk. We want to really, really address some hidden issues that happen, especially in a lot of women. A lot of times, matter of fact, let me take that back, because men do it too. Sometimes men, that whole concept of happy wife, happy life, and all of that stuff will make you get to the point where you're trying to preserve her needs and you're neglecting yourself in the process, because everybody's taught you that it's all about her, but your feelings matter too. So let's talk about it. Put it in the chat. Let's see where we can find a place, a healthy meeting ground concerning how do you navigate the waters of making sure that your feelings are not neglected in any relationship, even though you've always been taught to, it's better to give than receive, and taking care of other people and all of that stuff, and make sure you do unto others as you have them do unto you. And then we get to a perverted version of it where we're just doing everything for everybody else and not realizing that you still got a responsibility to you too. So let's talk about it this morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome into the room this morning. I want to talk about a topic. The topic this morning is not often discussed, but I want to talk about how important your feelings are too. Thank you for liking the live. I appreciate you. Good morning. The topic is your feelings matter too. And the reason why I brought up this topic is because when I was in the midst of writing my book, Breaking Free from Invisible Bars, I was in a season where there were some major things going on around me, and I was thinking about everybody else but myself. And my husband was like, hold on. I just wanted you to stop for a minute and tell me how you feel. He was like, because at the end of the day, your feelings matter too. You're trying to go and you're trying to be there for your family. You're trying to do all this stuff. But I want you to make sure that you're taking care of, you're protecting you in this moment. Because guess what? At the end of the day, if you're doing everything else and you drain yourself for everybody else, then I'm going to be the one who's going to be stuck here, not stuck here. I'm going to be the one with the task to help build you back up because you neglected your feelings in this. And I'm going to be the one having to pick up the pieces because you chose to sacrifice yourself to be there for everybody else and doing things out of obligation. And so in the midst of the conversation, it helped open my eyes. It helped me realize, I can't keep doing this to myself, just going above and beyond and trying to be there for everybody else, and knowing that all along I'm feeling like I'm in this world by myself because don't nobody see me, don't nobody understand what I need. And so this is a transparent moment with Queen Fitness this morning. We're going to talk about real stuff so that we can help other people find freedom. Sometimes, people don't realize how harmful it can be to get to a point where you're taking care of everybody else and you neglect you. It's not selfish to care for yourself. It's not selfish to show yourself love. It's really the only way you're gonna really serve somebody else is if you make sure that you're taken care of first. I was on a live last night. We were talking about health and wellness, and one of the people on the live said, you gotta, when you're on a plane and the plane get ready to go down, you have to stop and put your oxygen mask on first before you can help somebody else. Why? Because eventually, if you don't do that, you're gonna run out of oxygen and you're gonna find yourself in a place where you don't have any gas or anything in your tank to give to anybody else. So taking care of your feelings is a necessary thing. Making sure that you are in a good, healthy headspace and making sure that when you're serving other people, you have what you need so that you can continue to serve. You can't serve somebody else if you're out here neglecting yourself and you doing damage to yourself by trying to be there and go above and beyond for everybody else and leaving yourself high and dry. I'm off today, so I got a little time. I'm gonna talk for a while on this live. And I took today off because I'm taking care of me today. I got personal things that I want to do for me. And believe it or not, when I first put in the time, I kind of felt guilty about, even though I had paid time off, I had earned it, but I still felt like, man, I'm still thinking about everybody else. Oh man, I'm gonna put extra work on my coworkers when I'm not there, and I need to, because I'm such a people pleasing person, want to serve everybody else, not thinking about, hey, there are times when you mentally need a break. You need to take care of you. You got things that you need to do. Why do you feel bad? Because you need to take time. There are days when everybody else take time, but why I gotta feel guilty about taking a day or two off? Because I needed it. I got things I gotta do. Sometimes that's how the enemy try to trick us out of doing what we need to do to protect ourselves, doing what we need to do to make sure that we're not putting ourselves in harm's way by trying to be there for everybody else and neglecting ourselves. So I'm here this morning. I want to talk about this topic. Your feelings matter too. Are you to a place where you understand that? Are you comfortable with preserving your feelings? Or is this a message that's opening your eyes and helping you see, man, you do really need to stop going to that extreme for everybody else and taking the time to take care of you? It's okay. Self-love is important. It's not selfish for you to take care of yourself. It's not. And the enemy try to make it seem like, oh, you neglecting everybody else. Well, it's not. If you're not there, then who's gonna do this and who's gonna do that? Listen, trust and believe me. If you ain't there, somebody else gonna pick up the slack. Somebody else gonna do what they need to do, just like you do when they're gonna pick up the slack. Somebody else gonna do what they need to do, just like you do when they ain't there. Somebody you cover them. The same thing gonna happen in your position when you're not able to be there. Somebody else gonna pick it up. Trust me, the work gonna get done regardless. They're gonna get done whether you in the building or not. So why not take care of you? I'm talking this morning. I'm hoping that this topic is going to be able to reach somebody this morning. I don't know who need to be reminded that their feelings be able to reach somebody this morning. I don't know who need to be reminded that their feelings matter, but I feel led by God to go here. So I'm sharing it this morning to encourage hearts this morning, because people need to be reminded that they are valuable and that their feelings do matter. It's okay. It's okay to love on people. It's okay to be there for other people, but you can't be your best version of yourself for other people if you're neglecting your own feelings, if you putting yourself in harm's way. And it's okay. It's okay to take a breather. We try to go on, be on goal, 90 miles to nothing, as if life is never gonna be like life is gonna be over if we don't just rush to the finish line. No, take your time, process how you feel. Take the time to really say, okay, is this really serving me in this season? Sometimes we're trying to be like, we taking on so much stuff, and then we find things falling apart simply because we've taken on too much. But if you take your time, sometimes multitasking ain't as productive as you think it is. You think, oh well, I can put my hands in this, and I can put my hands in this, and I can do all that, and then you spread yourself so thin that you find yourself in a place where things are falling through the cracks. But if you took your time and just said, okay, well, I'm gonna focus. I'm gonna work in this area this week, and then I'm gonna work in this area next week, and then you'll find yourself to a place where you're actually accomplishing more because you took your time and settled yourself. I don't know. I heard another content creator say, somewhere along the line in my mind, I had this imaginary time clock that was going off that was saying, it's got to be right now. It's got to be right now. You got to get it. No, listen, grow organically. Stop trying to rush your way to the top. Understand this: when you rush the process, you miss key components of the development that are needed. So don't be in such a hurry. The Bible says be anxious for nothing, but in all things with prayer and supplication, make your requests known to God. So don't be rushing and skipping steps when the truth of the matter is there are things that need to come out of the growth and development. There are things you need to gain along the way. So take your time. Continue to work your way through whatever it is that's on your plate. So many times we just trying to do everything all at once and trying to be comparing ourselves to everybody around us and trying to worry about who somebody else does. Listen, be who you are and stay in your lane. Protect your feelings. Don't be thinking about and it ain't selfish to protect your feelings. It's not. Go into self-preservation mode when necessary. Understand that some things that we go through and we suffer in some areas simply because we were not cautious enough. We did not use discernment. We did not use wisdom. We just was hyped up in a situation and running, and then we find ourselves falling in a ditch. But if you took your time and you paid attention to what was going on around you, what you would have saw the ditch coming up. You would have saw the traps and the plot of the enemy had you been patient and had you been paying attention to the signs of what's going on. Thank you for coming into the room. Welcome. Listen, my name is Renata McFadden. I go by Queen Fitness on this app. I'm talking about a chapter in my book. I'm the co-author of Breaking Free from Invisible Bars. We're talking about emotional healing and addressing issues that people often neglect when it comes down to healing and growth. And so when I was in the process of writing my book, I was experiencing some kind of major things going on in my family, and I was trying to make these decisions, and good morning, my husband was saying to me, he was like, baby, listen, wait a minute, how do you feel? He was like, because matter too. Sometimes we get to a point where we're so selfless, right? We're so used to pleasing everybody and serving all the people around us that we get to a point where we find ourselves neglecting us, and then we later on have to pick up the pieces and deal with the damage because we chose to put everybody else's feelings before our own. But self-care is it's not selfish to take care of you. It's not selfish to make sure that you put your feelings out there so that people can know. A lot of times people wouldn't do things to harm you had they known how you really felt. But because you just said, go along to get along. Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah, I don't care. Let's go there. Let's do this. Even though you know in the back of your mind, you're like, well, I could have did something else with my time. I really don't care about doing that. But you're trying to have people in your life. That's a dangerous place to be. That's a dangerous kind of way to approach life. We got to be willing to say, okay, you know what? I feel this way. Self-care is so important. And I definitely got burnt out last year. Right. You got to be, I promise you, I'm learning. I had to be understanding that it's okay. Just because the opportunity was extended to you don't mean that it's your call. God didn't call us to do everything. We got to be using wisdom and discernment, choosing. It's so you're so used to saying, oh sure, I'll do this, I'll do that, and then you overextending yourself, and you find yourself trying to come back from that. When if you use wisdom and you had to say, well, you know what, right now just not a good time for me. It's not wise for me to do that. And it's okay, because guess what? When you say you're honest about, hey, I got too much on my plate right now, I would love to help you. Right. I would love to help you, but right now it's just not a good fit for me. Guess what? If you be honest about you not being able to have the time to devote to a thing and all of that stuff, trust and believe me, God will raise up somebody else who is supposed to do it, who's sitting, really and truthfully, he probably already got somebody else who's sitting at home waiting for that opportunity, who already got their schedule cleared and already available. We do ourselves a disservice by trying to just say yes, just saying yes, without even asking God, what is it that you want me to do? What is it? I mean, we being a busybody and other people matter. Over here just doing this, doing that, and trying to, but it sounds good. Oh, I'm a part of this, I'm a part of that, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and you're not really being attentive to any of it. When you're trying to overextend yourself, when you're to a place where you stretch so thin that you forgetting your schedule, and thank you for the daily heart, me, I appreciate you. You forgetting your schedule, and you're not even really realizing, what it is that you're supposed to be doing when you go to the point where you're just trying to be there for everybody and ripping and running to a point where you find yourself burnt out. Like you said, find yourself to a point where, man, God, how did I get here? Because you didn't stop. You didn't pray. You didn't ask God what he wanted you to do. You did. When we do things in our own flesh and we do what we want to do, we put ourselves in harm's way. We cause ourselves to be having to feel exhausted. But when God graces us to do a thing, it's not a hard task. It's something that we just enter into when he's graced us for it. But when you're trying to pick up something and you trying to make something fit, when you trying to pick it up and you trying to make something fit, you stress yourself out, you sit here overexhausted, and you just weighed down because you doing it. But when his anointing is on a thing, you gonna have peace and everything gonna flow in place. It ain't gonna be hard. It ain't gonna be no hard task, because it's just gonna be something that's just gonna come together naturally. But we have to get to a place where we're paying attention to how we feel. When we're led by his spirit will give up. When we're led by God's spirit, if something is supposed to be for us, we're gonna have peace. When we feel uncomfortable, when we're feeling that red flag, and when that check come up, you listen to how you feel. Respond to the spirit. Nah, I'm gonna have to respectfully decline. It's okay. You gotta pay attention to the fruit that the people are bearing, because the Bible says that bad company corrupts good morals. When you sitting there and you spending time and you connected with everything just for the sake of having a connection, you put yourself in a position where you really can actually cause your stuff to be contaminated. And then people don't want to People looking at, like they said, birds of a feather flock together. They're looking at the nature and the character of the person you don't connected yourself to. And then it caused you to forfeit the opportunities to have doors that are open for you simply because you didn't pay attention to the signs. You weren't listening to the Spirit of God when it came down to how you feel about doing a thing. Be led by God. Don't every door is not a good door. Every connection ain't always here. Sometimes it's sent to derail your purpose. Sometimes it's sent for as a trap to get you out here and bring you to an open shame. So you got to be mindful of where you go and who you connect to, and understand that you ain't gonna be able to please everybody. Why? Because some people don't want standards. Some people do not want to live with integrity. So when you start to get to a point where you're raising standards and you're saying, no, listen, I'm not compromising my faith. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. Because why? Because I believe, this is how I feel. I'm committed to my covenant. I'm committed to, and when you start setting up those kind of boundaries, trust and believe me, the invitations will start to diminish when they really heart ain't in it. When they're really to a point where they're not actually trying to do it for the right reasons. You got to pay attention to how you feel. Don't do nothing out of obligation. Don't be doing stuff just because. No, because God loves a cheerful giver. He loves a cheerful giver. So if you doing something out of obligation, you forfeited your reward. Ain't no reward in that. And that's not something that even is honorable. People don't want you. I'm doing it because I got to, but I really don't want to do it. I really don't want to be. People, truth of the matter is, people can feel that. When we sit here and we trying to do a thing and we think, oh, well, I'm just going to do it. I don't really want to, but I'm just going to do it. Be honest. Be honest about how you feel. You don't have to be malicious about stating, hey, listen, I'm not feeling comfortable with doing that. I'm just going to have to respectfully decline. You can be honest about saying no and not being harmful to somebody else's feelings. No, that's not a good fit for me. I got a collaboration invite yesterday. I looked at that collaboration invite, and she was trying to promote her product, and I was proud of her for being willing to put herself out there. But when I looked at it, it did not line up with my morals. It didn't line up with my values, so I had to send her a message. My live topic yesterday was stop trying to grow in toxic soil and speaking to people. But speaking, wow. I'm telling you, I got that collaboration invite, and I looked at the products, and I was like, in good conscience, I can't promote your product. I can't get on here and talk about that. That's not, first and foremost, it wouldn't even be a comfortable conversation for me to have. And then it would misrepresent the woman that I am. So why I'm going to send you a message. Thank you for considering me, but I'm going to have to respectfully decline. Everybody, there are people out there who will be like, ooh, yes, but no, it wasn't my cup of tea. And I'm mature enough and I've grown enough that I know, hey, listen, I'm not going to connect with everything. We're not even on the same team. We ain't thinking along the same lines. So I thank you for considering me, but I'm going to have to respectfully decline. Why? Because I'm not trying to promote your product and get that into my people's, even though they want to call them followers or whatever the case might be, I look at it like family. If it's not something that I would want to give to my family, I'm not going to push it out. I'm not going to push a product just for the sake of being able to push a product. Because at the end of the day, I don't want to do no harm to anybody. And I'm not to say that it was doing harm, but it just ain't for me. I just knew it wasn't going to be a good fit for me. And I'm mature. I had to learn to say no. And if it's right, I'm learning to say no. Trust me. That seemed like that was the hardest 2-letter word to get out of my mouth. I could say a whole lot of anything else, but it seemed like yes just flowed out so quick before I even think about what it was that I was even asked. Yes. I was a yes woman for everything. And then I had to look back in hindsight and say, man, I should have said no. I really didn't want to do this. I really don't have time. I really don't. People will see your skills, they'll know your wisdom, and they will pull on you. Right. They'll pull on you as long as you allow them to pull on you. But then you find yourself drained and find yourself stuck on over here depleted, making sure that they have what they need and they moved on. And then when you call on them and you asking, can you do this? They ain't never got time. They can't do this, they can't do that. Why? Because they mastered the art of no, but you have not figured out how to use that 2-letter word and understand that it's a benefit, and there is a resolve in being able to say no. And you know, sometimes you can say no and you don't even have to give an explanation. It's just no, you know. But well, the whole no, because sometimes it ain't even necessary. It ain't even that deep. It's just no. I just think right now, I just don't want to go. I just don't want to do. You know, I was being asked, to go to social events and things like that, and really, it was like I felt like a fish out of water. Because I don't half the stuff that they're doing ain't even a part of my life. So it's like, why am I gonna keep sitting here, twiddling my thumb, trying to figure out what I'm gonna do to get through this event, because the way you celebrate and the way I celebrate does not match. And I'm just sitting here, just looking. And sometimes they can get a little rowdy. They can be. I'm just like, no, now we can celebrate your life. Outside of that, I can take you, we can go to lunch, I can buy you a gift, but I'm not gonna attend your party. Why? I'm not a party person. So for me, it's like toxic for me for to sit in there and endure your party, and I don't celebrate that way. So no, and it's no love, it's nothing against you. You can celebrate your life and you can do what you desire to do to that capacity, but I'm gonna have to preserve me, because I understand that that's just not my cup of tea. And it took me a minute to get to that place where I could say no when it could. Thank you for your daily heart. Welcome into the room. We're talking about, my name is Renata McFadden. I go by Queen Fitness here on this app. I am the co-author of Breaking Free from Invisible Bars. And we're talking about emotional healing, but we're also talking about recognizing that our feelings matter. So many times as I had a big issue with people pleasing, trying to do everything for everybody else, even though I'm suffering on the other end. Literally, it was so bad that I would literally, even though I'm suffering on the other end, literally, how to say which restaurant I wanted to go to, simply because I'm just like, well, I'll just eat chicken anyway, so it doesn't matter. We can go to whatever restaurant you want to go to, just going along to get along, just doing everything out of obligation, simply because I feel like, oh well, I'm just happy to be in people's presence. I'm just glad they invited me. And when I knew all along I could be sitting in a restaurant I absolutely hated. Like, no, I ain't like the restaurant, but I'm just there because, well, somebody in the group wanted to go, and I just did not put up I'm just going to push this food around on my plate, just going to spend my money just so I can be in your presence, even though I don't want this, what I'm consuming, simply because I just wanted to go along to get along, doing things out of obligation. And we're talking about recognizing that self-care and self-love is not selfish. We think about, I gave the analogy last night. I was on a live. We were talking about health and wellness. And one of the things that one of the ladies was talking about, she was like, when you're on a plane and the plane is going down and the oxygen mask drop, before you can help anybody else, you're going to have to put your oxygen mask on first. Why? Because if you run out of oxygen, you won't have anything to help anybody else. It's the same way when you're going to the point where you're taking care of yourself. I said earlier that I'm off today. I took the next 2 days off because I have some personal things. I got a conference and stuff going on, and I want to take time to prepare for my event. But for me, at first, I was like, oh my God, like, I don't know if I should take the time off because I'm going to put a heavy load on somebody else, and my coworkers are going to be stressed out because I'm not going to be there. And, and it's like, God's like, the same way that when they take off to take care of whatever they do, you pick up the slack. Somebody's going to pick up the slack. They're going to be okay. They're going to be okay for you to just take the time to do what you need to do, you know? And we have to realize that it's okay. It's okay to say no. It's okay to take care of you. Trust and believe me, not every assignment, not every gift is not every role is your responsibility. If you say no, guess what? God will raise somebody else up. It's not every role is your responsibility. If you say no, guess what? God will raise somebody else up. Matter of fact, he may already have somebody else that's got the free time, that's ready to fill that position, and they just hadn't got to their name on the list yet. Let that person who's supposed to do it. We were talking about how the Spirit of the Lord will give you peace when it's something that you're supposed to be doing. But if you feel uncomfortable and you got this I don't know, I'm not sure, then say no. Don't follow your feelings. Why? Because the Holy Spirit will convict you when it's something. It's a form of protection. He'll let you know that's not. I'm not calling you to do that. I don't want. Some connections are not healthy. Right. This is what I'm telling you. This is what he's ministering to me. Like some connections are not healthy. I was sharing how yesterday I got a collaboration invite. And so a lot of the collaboration invites, I'm like, yes. But this particular collaboration invite, I had to send her a message to say, listen, I appreciate you for considering me, but I'm going to have to respectfully decline because it did not match my character. I could not even imagine myself being on the screen, having that kind of conversation, trying to talk people into and not do that. I was uncomfortable just reading what the product was about. So imagine how I would feel trying to be on a camera, trying to promote a product that didn't even match my personality. I was like, oh no, I can't do that. You know, sometimes every relationship and every door that's open ain't always, just because it's open don't mean it's your door to walk through. It could be open, but it does not mean it's going to serve you. You got to understand, because first and foremost, not everybody's integral. Then you get to the point where you make this rash decision and connect with somebody that are not then y'all can't walk together. Amos 2:3 says, can two walk together except they agree? How can you walk with somebody who has total opposite values that you have? Eventually, there's going to come a time when there's some type of friction and some type of separation that's required. So why not use wisdom before you make the connection? Listen to the Spirit of God. Pay attention to the fruit that they're producing. Because at the end of the day, you don't want the Bible says that bad company corrupts good morals. You could have this outstanding good morals and good personality, but you get with this outstanding good morals and good personality, but you get with the wrong group of people, and then those values will be diminished. You'll find yourself in a place where you don't even see life the way that you used to see it anymore. You're not even standing up the way that you stood up before for the things that you believe in, because you made the wrong connections. So you got to be mindful. I found out really quickly. You know, I'm developing I haven't been going live on TikTok very long, and so I'm building my community. And I found out really quickly that I don't want to grow. I want to grow organically, if I should say it that way. I'm looking more for quality versus just a quantity, because the truth of the matter is we can go into some of these rooms and we can make this number super big and it can grow really fast, but really you ain't really making connections, and that kind of defeats the purpose for me. I'm here to serve. I'm here to empower people, but how can I empower a person that I ain't even really made a connection to? We ain't even talking. I don't even know you. You don't know me. How can I empower you? The only way I'm going to be able to have the impact that God is calling me here to have is if I make healthy, viable connections. And so I understand that not everybody is going to be able to connect to me, and I respect that. But there is a people who have been assigned to the voice that God has given me, whose lives are going to change because they connect. Because not because of me, but because of his spirit, because of what he desires to do in this hour and in this season. He's transforming lives. He's giving us wisdom and insight so that we can begin to see, first and foremost, those gray areas in our lives, those things that need to be worked out so that we can be able to shine bright. We can be able to be vessels of honor and integrity so that he can flow through us. So he put us in places and opportunities to have impartations like this so that we can get to a place where we can have self-love, we can be healthy, we can be able to be viable and pour into other people. But the only way we're going to get to that place is if we sit down and be honest. You know, I didn't get to the place where I realized that my feelings matter till I was working on this book, and my husband, I'm 43 years old, and my husband's sitting here telling me, you know, I'm in the middle of, I'm stressing because I'm trying to get my deadline for my book done. My family's got all these things going on, and people are saying, hey, come, go do this, come do that. And my husband was like, hold on. He's like, how do you feel? And it kind of took me back. I was like, I don't really even know. Because he saw me getting ready to run and go do and be this for everybody else. And he's like, wait a minute now. How you feel? Because I know you. I know you'll give until you ain't got nothing left to give. But I need you to be sure that you're making good decisions, because the damage that's going to be done behind you doing all of this stuff out of obligation, and you putting yourself in this, and your feelings are hurt when you see on the other end that they ain't reciprocating it to you. He said, I'm going to be the one who has to pick up those pieces. I'm going to have to be the one who's going to have to be here to help you through that. So I want you to stop, and I want you to think about how you feel in this moment. He said, my obligation, that's the connection I desire. Right. He said, my obligation and my main concern, my main focus here is you. Why? Because that's who I am required to protect and to nurture. So I want to make sure that when you're making these decisions, you're doing what's going to best serve you. And I was like, you know what? You're right. And I started to really say, you know what? I'm not going to do anything else out of obligation. If God is telling me to do it, I'm going to do it. But if I'm not, then hey, if he's saying no, I'm just going to have to say, you know, I'm going to have to decline at this time. And trust and believe me, they're going to be okay if I'm not. If they're really connected to me saying no ain't gonna destroy our relationship. Me saying I can't come this time, they gonna see, you know, they know my heart. They know, you know, that I've been consistent. So, right, organically, it takes me a long time to get to 1K. It's taking me. Listen, just keep being consistent. Keep being consistent. Trust me, that's where I'm at. It's taking me. Listen, just keep being consistent. Keep being consistent. Trust me, that's where I'm at. I've been on this app since 2022. And I just not got to the point where I got to. I've been on this app since 2022, and I just not got to the point where I got to 3K this week. So I get it. And I've been diligently working on it, and I mean I get it. So just know that your people gonna find you. But just keep showing up as you and making sure that you're connecting with those people who you resonate with here on the app. I had to go and connect with people that I started finding people that I actually am interested in listening to and that I feel a connection to. And I'm going in and I'm supporting their content and interacting with them. And that's what's getting me to the point where I'm making real, healthy, viable connections. Because if I'm going into a room that I'm connected to, then guess what? 9 times out of 10, the people that are in that room that are connected to that person actually would be connected to me too. So I go in and I support and I encourage. I'm making sure that when I go into the room, I do all of the things, whether it's giving a daily heart, me sharing out their live, interacting in their messaging. And when people see you consistently showing up and encouraging them, eventually they'll start to saying, hey man, I see. The other morning I was like so shocked. I had this big, really, it was a big gift for me, but it wasn't really a big gift for some of the other people. But I was like randomly in a live getting ready to go off, and somebody just came in out of the blue. And I was like, oh my God, like I didn't even, and when I got off, I looked back later and I was like, wow, like you got all these people following you and you took the time to come into my room. And God is letting me know, you keep showing up, you keep being consistent. He'll send your people in. Thank you for sharing out the live. He'll send when we're in other people's rooms. Like I said, doing that. What I do when I go into the room, I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna give my daily heart me, I'm gonna come in and greet everybody in the room, I'm gonna tap on the screen, I'm gonna share out the live, I'm gonna interact with the people that are in the comment sections, because at the end of the day, that's how you get yourself to a place where you're making connections. If they say something that's in the comments that I like, then I'm hey, I second that motion, whatever the case may be, letting them know, hey, we on the same page. I think like you think. So when you start even in that live host room, you can still make healthy, viable connections, even in that kind of atmosphere. So you just gotta work the system. When you understand how it works, then you'll find yourself in a place where you start to grow. People just got to know that you just got to make your presence known. And it's things that we do, whether in a light, and especially in them larger rooms, in order for you to be seen, you put in gifts on the screen and interacting with the comments and doing things like that. So your name is showing up too. So that they'll begin to see you and they want to come into your room. So your name is showing up too. So that they'll begin to see you and they want to come into your room. But ultimately, I'm just trying to make sure that whenever people come into my home, so now I know Fifth Live last night. Awesome. What can you tell me what your niche is? What do you talk about in your lives? Put it in the comment for me so I can see. And do you have a live schedule? Matter too. In that chapter was called My Feelings Matter Too. Sometimes we find ourselves in a place when we're people pleasing and we're trying to do everything for everybody else. We end up neglecting our own feelings. And this is just me talking from experience. It's a transparent moment. So for me, I have found when I was working on my book, it was a very, very, thank you for your daily heart me. I appreciate you, sis. I appreciate the perfume. So I was working on my book, and while I was working on the book, of course, you know how stressful it can be trying to reach a deadline and trying to get everything together. So I was stressing trying to get that done. And then I had some family things going on and I had all of these things around me. And I was trying to be everything for every Christian growth, praise, dance, and mental health. Wow, we might need to collaborate and do a live together, co-host together some stuff, because that sounds like right up my alley. So I was working on the book, like I said, I was doing it diligently, trying to get myself together, and I had so much outside things going on, and I was trying to just really overextend myself. And my husband was like, hold on, wait. I understand you love this person. I understand, but how do you feel? He was like, I need you to stop in this moment and think about your feelings. Because if you're out here overextending yourself, you're doing all this stuff, and it's going to be me who's going to be picking up the pieces. And he said, I don't mind, because it's my role and it's my job to be protector, but I'm trying to help you protect you in this moment and make a conscious decision based on how you feel, not out of obligation for somebody else. Not, I know you want to do everything and be everything to everybody. And he just walked me through the process. And I was like, you know what? You're right. I don't even know how I got to the point where, I literally, when I started to sit down and write that chapter, I really started to think about it, how I get to the point where I can't even, if you ask me, at that time, you asked me which restaurant I wanted to go to, I have found myself to a point where I couldn't even tell what restaurant I wanted to eat at. Simply because my answer immediately would be, well, I'm going to eat chicken anyway. So it doesn't matter what restaurant you go to. I'm just going to find some chicken on the menu. And that's so, it's so unhealthy, and it's so distorted to get to a place where you can't even speak up for yourself and say, hey, well, I would like to go here, I would like to that. Even if you said it, even if you said it and people to find out that they didn't necessarily agree, thank you for your daily heart me, welcome into the room. Even if you said it and people, y'all come to a point where we're compromising, well, I don't really want to go there, you don't really want to go here, but we go somewhere together. Yes, we definitely can. We come friends last week, and I believe so. So I was checking in on my people. Right, we got to be to a point where we're using wisdom when we're making our connections. Good morning, Delisha. Welcome into the room, love. Thank you for your daily heart me. I appreciate you. we have to welcome into the room, love. Thank you for your daily heart. Me, I appreciate you. We have to really understand that we're talking about our feelings matter. We're talking about chapter 3 of my book, Breaking Free from Invisible Bars. In the book, in chapter 3 in my portion of the book, I wrote my feelings matter too. And how I got to the point where I had to really have my eyes open and recognizing that my feelings matter was in the process of writing the book, being frustrated and having so many things coming at me at one time. I'm working full time, I'm writing a book, my family is going through all kinds of stuff. I got other people pulling on me and saying, hey, come do this, come go do that, come do this. And God was like, my husband was like, wait. He's like, I'm gonna need you to settle down and I'm gonna need you to think about it. How do you feel? Because your feelings matter too. And I need you to understand that you can't do things out of obligation. You're gonna have to make sure that what you're doing is because you're being led by God and it's what you feel like you need to do, not just because somebody else is asking you to do a thing. Because the truth of the matter is, if you don't do it, somebody else will. That God will raise up somebody else that'll say yes, that'll feel that slide. Them people are not gonna miss out on it just because you said no. Then if it's meant to be, He'll gonna have somebody in place to do it. Trust and believe me, if it's meant to be, it's gonna still go off without a hitch, without you. You don't have to do everything. You don't have to go and be obligated to do a thing. And I was like, you're right. And I had to really come to terms with saying no or being respectfully declining in circumstances and recognizing that my feelings matter too. And sometimes, we have to understand that self-love is not selfish. It's not. Self-care is not selfish. We go back to that whole analogy of being on the plane. You got to make sure that while you're doing all of that for everybody else, you got your ability to breathe, taking care of you, making sure you're able to think clear because you put your oxygen mask on first. How you gonna think? You know what happens when you deprive the brain of oxygen? The carbon monoxide build up in your brain and you get confused and you start stammering and you're not to a point. Eventually you pass out. So when you know that you need to get the oxygen, you need to be in His presence. You need to pull on the Holy Spirit. You can't give people, you can't pour from an empty vessel. It's got to be something in there. So take care of yourself as necessary. You won't have nothing to serve if you don't take care of you. It's like, you know what? You're right. At the end of the day, even when we talked about the whole analogy of trying to multitask, having everything in your hand and trying to do out, and something gonna fall through the cracks, and you're not really devoting. You think that that's being productive when it's really not, because you're not giving yourself to any of it. So it's not gonna be your best work. But if you take the time to say, hey, listen, I'm going to focus in this area. I'm going to accomplish this goal this week. Then I'm going to get this one. I'm going to get this. And then you can knock it out and you can actually get through all of it versus just being burnt out and nothing get done. So we just talking about growing and maturing and walking in purpose, understanding that loving yourself there's nothing wrong with loving yourself. So you said you did your 5th live where are you from? Tennessee. I'm from Georgia. I'm from Georgia. And let me see what you said you do. Let me go back up here and see what we could focus. Since some of the activity done left the room, we could focus and go back to what you say what you do here. Trying to find your comment. Okay. Christian growth. Praise dance and mental health. Okay. Yeah, I like praise dancing, but I don't have no rhythm, so that ain't I like to watch it though. But I definitely in Christian growth and mental health. Mental health is such a big passion of mine. Because I do like weight loss support and emotional healing and things like that. And people don't understand that we definitely gotta take care of our thoughts. We understand that plants to a sprinkle of everything. Okay. So what I suggest though is if you're gonna make your schedule right and let the people know which day you're gonna do what. That way you can build organically, and people can. Some people may not want to be in the conversation of all of it, but they may say, I want to come on the day, come in today when you're talking about plants. I want to come today when you're doing Christian growth, so that you can kind of give the tailor it to the people, so that your people, you can build your community and they can be able to be drawn to the things that you're doing. But I understand, I kind of feel like I'm a sprinkle of everything over here too, because I mean, we talk about fitness some days, we talk about psychological healing some days, a lot of it's the word most days, then you got worship, so they're gonna get a variety pot over here too. So I'm in the medical field, so I talk a lot about advocate for preventative maintenance and things like that. I really believe, that a lot of us prematurely leave this earth simply because we neglected ourselves. We didn't take the time to do simple things like the preventative maintenance, going to get an annual visit to check to see. So I teach a class called Knowing Your Numbers. I teach a class called Game Plan for Success, and it helps people with strategically plan for goal setting and things like that. I got a lot of things that I'm working on being able to bring to this platform, but I'm just trying to build my community so that I can be able to get to serve the people to the capacity that they want to be served at. So some people come in because they want the worship. Some people come in because they want the word. And then there's the ones who want the support with their weight loss and emotional healing. I've been using my plants as visuals with the word. Oh, I'm a mental health nurse too. Well, look at God. Yep, I've been so I work for the employee health for my for a big hospital here in this area, but my primary focus is just educating my community, because I do an annual health fair. It's so many of us that I see coming into the doctor's office and they don't even have a clue. Like, you don't know. You can ask them, well, what is your blood pressure usually run? They have no idea. They don't even know. Well, if you tell them what the blood pressure is, that good or bad? They don't know. They don't even want their routine lab report, because they don't know what it means. It's just, I don't care about that. Y'all can keep it, because they'd rather not even take the time to get to understand what the doctor has presented to them or what he's talking about. So I try to educate the community, because I know that we are our biggest line of defense. You're going to be your first line of defense. You protecting yourself by being able to advocate for yourself concerning what's going on with your body. And when you recognize something is off, you're being able to, like they say, the squeaky wheel is the one that gets the oil. You're making a ruckus, letting them know, hey, listen, something is wrong, and I need you to address this. Right now, I'm working with the intellectually disabled community, which is intertwined with mental health. Okay. And it's definitely a needed service. It's so many times we don't understand, unfortunately, because they have that developmental delay, they're pushed as wards of the state, and people they choose to treat them like they a burden and dump them off on the state, which is sad. Because regardless of whether they have the intellect or not, they still are valuable. They still have worth, and we still got to learn how to love them and teach them how to live to the best of their ability. Thank you for your daily heart, me love. Welcome into the room this morning, sis. We're talking about your feelings matter. I am talking about chapter 3 of my book, Breaking Free from Invisible Bars, where I got to the point where I had to realize, that my feelings matter too. In the midst of the writing process, my husband had to come to me. I was stressing trying to get the book out, working full time, had everybody pulling on me, family crisis and people needing me to go here and go do that. And he had to just stop me in my tracks and say, ho, 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 ho. He said, well, how do you feel? And at first I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, well, your feelings matter too. He said, I know you love this person and I know you want to do that. He said, but you need to make sure that you're protecting you, because your feelings matter too. You just doing everything out of obligation. They knew you more than you know. you brilliant individuals and speak to me. Amen. You're right. I believe that. He was sitting there and he had to help me understand, you can't just keep going along to get along. You can't keep doing all these things just for the sake of being able to do it. You got to get to the place where you recognize that your feelings matter too, and you protecting yourself by making the choice of saying, hey, I'm gonna have to respectfully decline. Thank you, sis, for contributing to my live goal. I appreciate you. Understanding that, if you say no and you're not there, that don't mean that them people not gonna get a chance to get accomplished what they need. That just means God will raise up somebody else. Maybe it's somebody else who's already sitting there waiting for the opportunity to do whatever it is that you finna do out of obligation that you really don't want to do. That he ain't even gave you clearance or peace to do it. So God, I appreciate you so much. Just thank you. But God is helping us to understand that we have to make sure that we following peace. When God is ordained for us to do a thing or go a place, he's going to give us peace in the matter. But if we're choosing to just do things and not be all uncomfortable, those feelings are there for a reason. When you have a level of discernment and you're maturing your walk with Christ, you'll recognize when that's not a door that you're supposed to walk through. That's not a place that you're supposed to go, because you're going to feel uncomfortable, right? Your discernment is going to say no. And it's okay to say no. And sometimes you ain't even got to give. No answer to it. It's just no, That's all it's just no. I can't. At this time, I'm going to have to respectfully decline. Yesterday, I was telling him earlier. I was saying earlier, I'm not really sure. I don't mean to say him. I was saying earlier that I got a collaboration invite yesterday, right? And normally I'm responsive. I'm like, oh, I'm so excited. Somebody want to collaborate with me. Well, this lady sent me a collaboration, and what she wanted me to promote was total opposite of my values and my views. And I was like, oh, no, I can't do that. So I had to send her a message. I felt uncomfortable even reading what the product was about. So I was like, I know, I ain't gonna get on nobody camera and talk about that. Oh, that's a no. So I had to send her a message, and I was like, I appreciate you for considering me, but I'm gonna have to respectfully decline. I didn't bash her. I didn't make her feel bad about what she was trying to promote. I just made my stance clear. Listen, I appreciate you. Now, I don't take it lightly that you looked at my profile and thought it would be a good fit for you, but unfortunately for me, it's a no. I thank you though, but I can't, because at the end of the day, bad company corrupts good morals. Then you got to understand that, like they said, Amos 2:3 said, can two walk together except they agree? How can I promote something that I don't even stand behind? I can't promote something and push it off on somebody else when I know the truth of the matter is I couldn't in good conscience get somebody else to purchase that. To me, I just don't think that was a wise fit. So I had to say no. And it was okay. I'm at peace that I said no. But had I been in the past, I might have would have tried to tiptoe around. I don't really know how I would even promote that product though. Truth of the matter, I really don't know, because I wouldn't even had no way to even tiptoe around the topic. So it would have never fit, and I would have been uncomfortable, and I'm sure I wouldn't have made no sales because nobody wouldn't even wanted to. They were like, "Oh, look at her! Like she don't even." You could tell she uncomfortable. So I was like, no, that's not it. But at the end of the day, that I felt bad. I went to a live host room, and I'm like doing all the things that they had taught me, liking the live and commenting and sharing. And I don't know what I did, but they blocked me. I don't know if I came across offensive, but I was like, how in the world are you blocking me? And I'm contributing to your live goal. I'm sharing out your live. I'm commenting, interacting with you, like amen and what you're saying. And I got blocked. I was like, okay. At first, my feeling like I was really literally in my head trying to figure out what could I have done? But I was like, you know what? Okay, God, that was just not a place for me to connect. It's okay. It's okay. I mean, truth of the matter is maybe I should have been giving my gift to somebody else. Maybe that's why the door closed. I don't know. I was just, but know that, you know, that there are going to come times where you're not going to connect with everybody. And it's okay. It's okay, because your people going to find your voice. Your people who are connected to you are going to show up, and they're going to faithfully serve, and you ain't going to have to jump through no hoops to do it. You just going to be able to be you. When you find, that happened to me too. I don't know what I did either, but it hurt my feelings. It hurt my feelings at first, but then I had to really realize, you know what, don't take it personally. Why? Because at the end of the day, you know, sometimes people, your discernment might have been off concerning that person. Maybe y'all might not even been on the same page. You don't know. And I'm just like, I don't know. You know, I understand. I try to be kind and be open and be supportive and be willing to give to everybody else. But one of the things that Speak Life was, so she was in here earlier, one of the things that she said in her live, and it made so much sense. She was like, I don't give my daily heart me to everybody. And I was like, okay. She said, because this is a form of covenant. You're coming into agreement. When you come in and you join somebody's room and you giving a daily heart me, you're literally spiritually aligning yourself with somebody. But you got to make sure that everybody that you giving your daily heart me to and you're aligning yourself with is somebody that you really, like I said, we have on the same page, morals and values. Sometimes you don't even, this is an open platform, right? It's millions of people. Some people are into all kinds of stuff. And so you going in trying to, you going in and you're trying to just, out of obligation, give your daily heart me and connect to. They've already aligned you with that team, and they're saying, hey, now you're connected to what they're connected to. And she was talking about how when you planting your seeds, you know, you find yourself later, your money drying up because you're putting your seed into bad ground. Even if it's just 1 cent, the daily heart me is only 1 cent. All of it is going straight to TikTok. The live host ain't getting it, but you're still planting into corrupted soil. So what's happened? Well, you find yourself to a place where that toxicity is rubbing off on you because you're doing something out of obligation. They give you space to take a few seconds to listen, to see if y'all are connected. And when you are connected to a person, then you give the daily heart me because you want to connect to their team. And you're saying, hey, I value this person and I want to stay here and listen. The daily heart me is not just for you. It's for both you and the live host. Nobody gets any financial contribution, but both people get 45 engagement points. The engagement points are very valuable in this platform. Why? Because the more points you get at the end of the week, the more your actual financial contribution to your home is going to be. So you want to be able to get those engagement points. So when you give the daily heart me, you go to the badge. That white thing up there beside my name, you click on it. It's going to drop down. It's going to give you a whole list of things to do. And all that you can do, you want to check off all that you can do in it. A lot of it is free. Commenting, you're going to get points, 15 points for commenting. It used to be 30. Well, further up the line you go, they diminish. At first, it's 30 points. But when you get in the 12 and 14 on the stage, they only give you 15 points for a comment. But you get 15 points for a comment. Now they see that they're doing 2 points for liking the live. Then they're giving you points for sending the popular votes. They give you, so you look at what all you can do on that badge to cause yourself to go up to the next level. That's the whole, I didn't realize, the gifts is counting in your engagement points. The shares is counting in your engagement points. The comments is counting in your engagement points. The actual interactions, all that stuff is going to count towards how much you're going to be able to get at the end of the week. That's how these people, and then these people going into these rooms at the end of the week, they closing out each other gift gallery. Your gift gallery is a big, important part of how you're going to get your contribution at the end of the week. People focus more on the actual the goal, live goal, but the live goal is just, we have to do the live goal, but the gift gallery is what's going to really help you get out of D league to B league, to see, making sure that and every time you clear out your gift gallery, Sunday they close it out at the end of the week. You got to make it sure it's closed out. But a lot of people don't understand. They ain't even working in each other gift gallery. No, you want people to recognize you? Go to people gift gallery and give the title gift. Become the title gifter. How do you become the title gifter? You go to that gift gallery and give the. So like I'm in D League, and you click on my name. You'll see at up under my name. You'll see the D2 gift gallery. You can click on my gift gallery, and it'll tell you right now. I already been given, like, my roses is closed out, my donuts closed out, my perfume closed out, my friendship necklace closed out, my finger hearts is closed out. So the TikTok is open. The TikTok, to become the title gifter for the TikTok, you click on the TikTok. You got 10 TikToks to give. They all 1 cent. You give 10 cents to my TikTok, and then you become the title gifter. So everybody who comes into my room, when they're looking for quality engagements, they click on the gift gallery and they can see who's the title gifter for that. If they want to put their name in that spot, they'll take your spot by giving more than you in that area, so they can take it. But every time somebody come into my room, they'll see your name, and then those people who are actually working the system, they look for people who doing things like that, quality things like that, and they connect to those type of people. I don't even know how I got over there, but maybe it'll help you. I'm not sure how much you know about TikTok, or how much help you can benefit from. But if you like to, you can come up if you want to talk. I can you can send a request to be a guest, and I can add you to the screen and we can talk. I'm gonna be on about another 30 minutes before I get my day started. Um, yes it is. Yes, it is. Okay. All right. You can send me. Let me see if I can send you a request to join. I'm gonna invite you to join. So at the bottom of the screen, there you go. All right. This is join. It's adding you in so we can talk. So I can ask. You can actually ask questions if you got something you want to talk about. Cause I know.
Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey! Welcome into the room this morning. I know
Yes,
I've been
thank you
all
for
over the
having
place this
me.
morning. But I hope that something that was said has been beneficial to you this morning.
It was. It was. I was, like I
Okay.
said, I was just coming in and browsing on TikTok, and I saw you up, and I think we became friends like maybe earlier this week or last week because I started listening, and I was like, oh,
Okay.
that's how that works. Like, I haven't really like been on TikTok like that, and so my daughter is more than I am. But she was like, you should try more, to post, to go on there with your content. Like, I've been posting videos, but
Okay.
never like live. So I'm still learning. And I just did my fifth live um, yesterday.
Okay, well, congratulations on live number 5. Trust me, it gets easier. I haven't been doing lives on TikTok very long. Probably like 3 or 4 months maybe. But I used to be live. I'm used to being live because I used to do lives on Facebook. I'm just understanding the rules of engagement for this platform. And so now that
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like the whole steps about coming in and doing those steps, giving a daily heart me and following that badge, I didn't realize, how much of an impact that those things have on the financial contribution at the end of the week. But it's a numbers game. You got to be willing to go into other people. So at the beginning of the week, my suggestion is for you to go to TikTok, go to Google Chrome and go to tiktok.com/coins.
Mm-hmm.
Charge your account and budget maybe $10 for the week, right? In coins, so that you can be able to, when you're going into these different live host room, you can be able to have the financial contribution for the, whether it's a daily heart. You make sure the first thing you do before when you enter a room is give the daily heart me. Why? Because that's like checking into your room. You're
Right.
not gonna get any engagement points from anything else you do until you give that daily heart meet. When you're giving a daily heart meet, but of course you don't want to give your daily heart meet to everybody, because sometimes you go in and you realize, I don't really want to stay in this room. This ain't really a room that I'm connected to. So that's okay. So I'm selective in the rooms that I go to. I got consistent people that I follow. So I go into their rooms and give my daily heart meet so I can get my 45 engagement points. Now there are sometimes I may come across somebody that's in their room that they're making quality comments that I may want to go out and check out their room. So I'll go and check out their room and get a daily heart meet. But even if I give it and I decide later that I don't want to stay connected to you, I don't go back to that room. What happens when you don't go back to that room? It freezes, your heart is frozen, so you're not obligated to that team anymore, so to speak.
Okay.
So
Well,
you
yeah,
get
I definitely have first. Thank you, because I was just, I think you were the
you're
first one
welcome.
in my head, and I was like, she kind of sound like what I be
Wow, to
talking
God be
about
the
on my
glory.
life. So that's what kind of made me, stay. And I was like, oh, she hitting. Actually, you was preaching to me with the boundaries and stuff. Cause
Wow.
girl, I accepted some stuff and some leadership positions within the church, and still in it, still active, but I kind of had to take a step back and learn that no is okay. You know,
Right, I'm
I have to
learning
learn to
that
say
too. I
no.
promise you, I am. It's a growing process, and the thing about it is the fact that you're open to learn it says a lot, And we talk about in my room, I'm talking about often shedding light on gray areas, right? Because these are things that we get ourselves into, but we didn't really realize how much damage was done. Like I found myself, because I grew up just doing whatever I was told. Everybody tell me to do something. I didn't make
Yeah,
no decisions for myself. So
right.
even as an adult, I entered into doing the same thing, just doing what I was told. You're always obligated to do those things at your job. You gotta, if you got a
Yes,
family,
gotta
you got
show
this.
up.
My kids telling me to do, but my son telling me to do this. My husband telling me to do that. My mama still calling saying do this, do that. My dad is saying I need you to do this. And I never found room for me and
Girl,
doing
you
all of
sound
this
like me.
doing all of this stuff for everybody else. And then I find myself, I'm just pleasing everybody else while I'm sitting here silently and miserable. I'm
Mm,
frustrated over here but
mm,
everybody else smiling, everybody else happy, and it's okay. It's okay to protect your feelings, and it's okay to say no.
mm.
And that was a hard word for me to ingest, for me to really even accept. But now I'm to a point where I'm mature, and I'm like, okay, God love a cheerful giver. He love a
Right.
cheerful giver. And if
Amen.
you think that you're giving something in your heart ain't even connected to what you gave, you think you're gonna get a reward out of that?
Mm-mm.
Ain't no reward
Absolutely
coming
not.
behind that. And God was like, you ain't doing this for me. Don't don't think I'm proud of you for that. I ain't proud of you for that. Come
Right.
on.
Right.
If it's okay to say no, and he was like, listen, it's okay. If I'm gonna release you from that.
Mm-hmm.
I had to realize, that I'm trying to do everything, and when I understand this, the enemy will try to bait you, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was working diligently in ministry. I had a Christian support page. I had like 22,000 people I was serving a week, and I was just doing my own thing in ministry.
Mm-hmm.
But then here come the enemy with
Mm-hmm.
another supposed to be opportunity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Using somebody to say, okay, well, I need you to, girl, I feel like the Lord is leading you to come help me do this.
Mm-hmm.
But God had already given me something.
Mm-hmm.
And I was being faithful in what he told me to do. But I took an opportunity, and I'm all over here doing this thing for somebody else while I've abandoned what God has called me to.
Mm.
And
Yes.
then it came a point that later on down the line, like Amos 2 and 3, we were talking about it earlier. Can two
Yeah.
walk together except they agree? It came a point after I gave up everything, I abandoned, and I'm running here doing what you want me to do. Eventually, when I got your ministry off the ground and the finances from your ministry start coming in, then you shut me out. But
Wow.
your motives was, man, I could prostitute your gift. I can push you to do all of these things to get because I see you got an anointing on your life and you're drawing people and you're building over here and you're doing the work. So I'm gonna get you over here to help build my work. But then once you build my work, I'm gonna take all the proceeds and the reward behind it, and then I'm push you on up out of here. Because that was what my motive was all along. I just needed you to build my work.
Wow.
But I've abandoned what God called me to do to help you build your work.
Wow.
Because I did not use discernment.
Right.
Because I
You
didn't ask
God. You always gotta ask
I didn't ask God. I just did. It's exciting. The enemy gave me what he thought I wanted and drew me out of the will of God. And then I abandoned where I was really, truly operating in ministry.
Wow.
What I do in ministry, I do it for free. I don't charge nobody nothing.
Yep.
And what we started with, that we were on the same page. Oh, we just want to go and help these women. We just want to serve. We want to do. But then later on down the line, it started VIP this and want to have this, all these financial tax and burdens that was associated with it. Because the truth of the matter was, you were trying to get enough following so that you can drain the people financially.
Wow.
But I didn't see that coming because I didn't ask God what would come, whether this was a door that you opened or whether it was just a door that was a temptation that was trying to pull me out of the wheel. Wow. And so I had to learn, now I'm like, okay, God, to show me and trust me, it's still a process, and he's still having to settle me in some places and help me realize, that even like I said, even with growing on this platform, I was following trends and going into these rooms and doing that, and I had to sit down and settle myself and realize that God had to convict me and say, hey, I ain't call you to do that. That's not why I sent you here. Listen, I'm going to send you the people that need to be empowered. I'm going to help you be a blessing to those people, but you can't do it that way. Because I need to be able to be glorified in what you're doing. And I'm like, okay, I'm listening. And so he sent me into rooms with genuine women and men of God who really have a heart for him, who will really take the time to teach you the wisdom that they've gained along the way and genuinely come in and support. So that's why I'm like, okay, God, you know what? Even on this app, there are people who really love you, but I just got to make sure that I'm led by your spirit to those rooms.
Yeah, that's powerful there. That's
just got to be led by his spirit to those rooms. Trust me, there are people who would genuinely come in and do all the things to help engage. Understand that we can't. There's no way to be successful on this platform by yourself. There's no way. You're gonna have to make healthy connections, but you got to make sure when you're making your connections, you led by his spirit. Because like I said, bad company corrupts good morals. Every time you sit down and you listen, you're getting an impartation from somebody's spirit. But you want to make sure that it is the right spirit. Because you don't want to later on be trying to undo. I was like connected. In one room, I was like, lady started talking about, I'm an empath. I was like, what's an empath? I was like, oh, I didn't know that. Like, I thought you was a nice person, but I didn't know you was in everything. You don't know what you're going to open yourself up to. You got to use wisdom. And some of these people, I was like seeing so many people say, I want to give you a reading. No. We ain't on the same team. I don't need you to read.
Yeah, I'm going them.
You read somebody else. Don't come here with that.
Yeah.
But you can't. It's a platform. It's open to everybody. That's true. But I don't have to make a connection just because you sending me, you got a message, you praying, and you ain't got no message for me now. If you paid attention, if you really was in the spirit, you'll know that you really don't want. You know how Paul did with that lady with the divination? You don't want to come over here. Yeah. You do not really want to come over here because your gift going to be gone. You keep listening. Okay. You got to understand, God will give you wisdom and he'll help you see. And everything that he shows you, it doesn't mean that you have to release it just because he showed it to you.
Mm-hmm.
He let you see it so that he can protect you and he can give you the insight that you needed. But everything don't have to be said.
Yeah.
So some stuff he showed me, I don't say everything, but I just seen it. You know, I pay attention to what's going on in people's lives and how people handle certain things. And you just use wisdom. You gotta use wisdom with your connections and things like that. But anything I can help you with as far as like, just whether it's ministry or building or even just how to actually work the system when it come down to this platform, I'm open for it.
Yeah,
Just
I think
be
that's one of the things that I've been learning this past week. And like I said, I just started going live last week. I've been posting content, but this week I just started going live. And like you said, I've been in different rooms and like, okay, yeah, I don't think I want to be a part of this room. But what you said that I forgot what you said her name was that came in earlier. What she said about the
speak life
daily
with
heart.
soul. Yeah, speak life with soul.
Yeah, with the daily heart me, I had never heard it put like that. So that was very powerful, and that definitely, I will definitely take that away from our conversation. Since you said that, it's kind of like saying, you love that person. Like you said, you're making a covenant with
You
that
are,
person.
because I mean you're joining when you're giving a daily heart mean you're joining their team, which means you're coming into a covenant agreement with them. You're saying, hey, in order for you following of course, but in order for you to actually be a part of it, you're connecting to their team. And there are missions and other things that are assigned to that daily heart meet that you have to do to actually be able to grow the team and mature. So when you understand the rules of engagement, then you'll understand that it is a covenant. Even TikTok looks at it that way, as a
Mm,
connection that you're making. Okay, you're saying to that person, I'm gonna be supporting your work. What you're doing, I'm here to support.
wow. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
but see, they don't even look at it that way. They don't realize, okay, well, yeah, I'm just going right everywhere, just giving my daily heartbeat to everybody,
Wow.
and you kind of hurt yourself in the long run because now you're required to do certain things because the system, this is it's a numbers game. They're looking at your analytics. If you look at
Mm-hmm.
your when you get off your live, if you go to the TikTok studio, everything that you do in a live room, they record everything. They document how many times a person was in your room, how long they talk. So all of that stuff, it's gonna end up eventually hurting you if you're everywhere doing stuff and not following through, because they're looking at all that stuff is calculated and how your points are averaged out at the end of the week.
Oh, okay. Okay. So
Yeah.
I have seen that. I have
So
seen
all
the
of that, yeah,
analytics,
all the
but I didn't
analysts,
know
they
that
they
you
they
that it
keep track
counts.
of all of that stuff. So when
Okay.
you're making your connections, you gotta use wisdom with what you're connecting, because they're gonna be wanting you to consistently be a part of that team. If you're choosing to join and you're saying that you're gonna have to be there, and all of that stuff is either gonna help you or it's gonna hurt you. If you're gonna either burn yourself out by trying to be in 12 rooms every day, or you're gonna pick organically and choose the ones that you genuinely want to see win. Hey, I like what you're saying. I'm supporting your content. So me coming to your room and sharing, being your friend, interacting with your comments and sharing that stuff, it ain't an obligation for me, because hey,
Mm-hmm.
I'm grateful for what you're putting out. We have to be willing to, when you looking at somebody else's content, you like it, sharing it with your community. That those type of things is gonna help you, and it's gonna help that person who content you watching.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be able to help your stuff grow. You reap what you sow, right? That's a law of reciprocity. That's in the word. We reap what we sow. You're planting seeds into other people's lives so that you can see it manifest in yours. You got to be willing to do all the things for other people that you want in your heart for somebody else to do for you.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I got you. I got you. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you
You
telling me
welcome.
that.
You
It really
welcome.
helps me. It really helps me to go forth.
Hey, that's what I'm here for. I want to help. I want to see you win. So if I can help, I can support, I can push. That's what I'm gonna do. That's just the nature of me. I'm a giver from heart. So I want to be if you winning, I'm winning, because I'm gonna be
Yeah.
able to rejoice and celebrate the fact that, man, I see you reaching your goals and striving to the next level. And we building the kingdom. So at the end of the day, it's not a competition. And
That's right.
when
Amen.
people
It's not.
understand that,
We on
then
the
they'll
same
operate
team.
differently.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people do. They don't see us on the same team, but at the end of the day, we're on the same team, like you said, building for the kingdom. So I totally agree. My son came in. He said he don't think he don't have practice. It's raining here. How's the weather there?
It's actually pretty good out there right now.
Uh-oh, did I lose you?
You paused your screen for some reason.
Yeah, I was trying to check to see if they had sent a message out about practice. But I did have a question. You see right there
Okay.
above my name up there, that 100. What is
The what
that? Can
now?
you tell me what that is? It's like a
The 100
blue.
above your name?
Mm-hmm. I ain't
I
got my
just gave
glasses
you
on.
the hand heart. When you paused your screen, it was in the middle. I gave you a gift. I gave you a hand heart gift. Was worth 100 coins.
Oh, okay. So once you get a gift, is that what that number is
Yeah.
up
So
there?
when you're in somebody else's, when you're co-hosting with somebody else, anytime somebody else give you a gift, it'll show up above your name. So above your picture in the screen. So that was me. I gave you 100. I gave you a gift for 100 coins.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you so much. I've always
You're
seen that
welcome.
number too, but never, had anybody to ask, what that number is. And I have been going over the rules and reading through them for myself, so that I can know instead of, depending on other people. So I have been doing that and doing my research. And something else you said earlier, I was trying to figure out if my son had practice. That's why I kind of slowed down on talking. But when you said, oh man, I forgot that quick. I forgot what it was. But it resonated with me. It was something else good you said because you've been dropping gems. But I
Hey.
don't know. I don't know. It'll come back to me. It'll come back.
You
It'll come
will.
back.
But at the end of the day, we have to understand that we have to. It's a law of reciprocity. We reap what we sow. We're working together as a unit, and if we're building the kingdom. So if we're both impacting, it doesn't matter if you're the one who's doing it. If I'm doing it, we're still building the kingdom. We're empowering people. We're helping people get to be the best version of themselves. So you seeing you shine will be a blessing for me. Cause that mean that we got somebody else that's on our team that's making some kind of headway in the spirit, and we're impacting the kingdom of darkness. So I ain't got no
Yeah.
problem with that at all.
Yeah. Me either, girl. I love to see anybody win. I love to see. I'm right there celebrating with them every time.
Right. And that's,
So
I mean, at the end of the day, like you said, everybody got their time. Everybody, and it's enough out here for all of us. It's enough out here for all of us to win. And we
yeah.
can't be gatekeeping. When I gain knowledge, somebody else taught me. So what I look like holding back what somebody else shared with me? Nah, I'm sharing it. I'm paying it forward. Somebody else taught me something, so I'm gonna pass it along.
Mm-hmm. It's so true. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it, girl.
You're
You done taught
welcome.
me a lot just being here. And that's why I was like, yeah, let me jump on in here and see what she got to say this morning. It's just me and her, but hey, I like it. That's what makes me get to know somebody.
Sometimes you know what I'm saying. That sometimes that's all it really God will give you a space for it just to be. I like being in those rooms that are popular, but I like to be able to be in a room where I can feel like my presence is valued. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes
Right.
when you go in them rooms that's moving so fast and everybody in there, you like your comments get swallowed up. Your anything you questions you got get ignored because there's so much going on. But being
Yeah.
able to have the opportunity to have one-on-ones is beneficial.
Yes, and you're so right because I've ran across those in the past week, and it was like 500 comments in like a minute, and I was like, "What?" And I didn't learn anything really. Truly, who's been teaching me is like one on ones like you, or I have a coworker on here. She's been doing it for a while, so I kind of start jumping in on hers, and she'll pull me up, and then she's been jumping in on mine, and answering my questions. So everybody's been helpful, but it's more so like the intimate, lives that I've been able, like you said, to be seen, to be recognized, and to get any other questions that I can't get off of the rules, or don't see, within the rules. answered. So I do appreciate that. Even as small as like, what is that coin? I know it sounds stupid, but thank you for
No, I
answering.
understand. I told them. I tell people a lot. I stumbled upon the opportunity to be monetized. I wasn't working trying to be monetized. I just happened to look up and see one day that I could go live. I really never even saw myself as a live host. Honestly, I was just at first. My sister passed away in 2022, and she wanted to come to this platform to share her group Chronicles of the Curvaceous. And so I was just promoting keeping her legacy alive. That's what I was doing with this
Mm,
platform.
okay.
It really wasn't about trying to be monetized and things like that. But then now that the door has opened, she used to say to me, she said, I'm gonna endorse my sister's contracts. I'm gonna do this. She used to prophesy to me about how she was going before me in the spirit, doing these things for me. Well, I thought she was physically gonna be here to sign contracts with me. I thought certainly, that these were doors that she was gonna physically open, but really she was laying groundwork. Like a lot of my content is stuff that my sister had already recorded before she passed away. I
Okay.
just had happened to just go to my gallery and just upload the memories and things that she had already worked on for me.
Mm-hmm.
So she did the heavy lifting, but I'm reaping the benefits of it because she's already gone before me, paving the way for me spiritually.
Mm-hmm.
The book
Wow.
Breaking Free from Invisible Bars, it's a vision that we talked about for the longest together. She helped push me to get the workout. We started out and I got a portion of her in the book, but it was her opening up the door in the spirit realm for me to even go and have the whole platform to even talk about it. I got a conference this weekend called Breaking Free from Invisible, Breaking Free Conference. It's an opportunity for men and women to come in and deal with emotional trauma and get. I've got a whole panel of people that's going to labor with people. That's why I took these 2 days off
Mm-hmm.
so that I can be able to take the time to work with people one on one and help them work through, navigate through these trauma and these things. But it was because of her laying the groundwork in the spirit. So sometimes we don't know why God put people in our lives and what He desires to do through them. But now that I have the opportunity to be monetized, I came to the platform, but it was like having a license and not knowing how to operate a vehicle.
Mm.
The
Yeah.
door was open. I had the opportunity to go live, but I didn't know what to do with it when I got there.
Yeah.
So I had to, in hindsight, I had to sit down and I'm a part of Team Prosperous. Coach Natasha, I go to her classes at night from 8 to 10, and I sit down and she teaches me how the strategies and the wisdom keys concerning how to actually make this business work for us, right? So she teaches me how to connect and the importance of you doing these things according to these different precepts. So a lot of things that I need, God is raising up people to give it to me, and it's coming directly from the platform.
Wow. And
But
that's a blessing to hear because that's one thing that brought me here is like I said, I've been doing content. I've been able to go live. I was just kind of scared to go live, didn't know what to say. And I also do t-shirts on the side. So I knew that I wanted to do like faith-based shirts. I kind of start rolling it out here like in my neighborhood, like for my church. Like I do like our deaconess and mothers t-shirts or the youth t-shirts for trips or the deacons polos. Those are just some of the past orders that I've had. Oh, Christmas parade apparel.
what kind
Um,
of account do you have? Do you have a
right
personal
now,
account or a
it's
business account?
it's just a regular personal account.
Okay.
And so I don't, I haven't gotten that far because like when God gave me the vision for the t-shirt business, it was like a year and a half ago, but like I had been praying and reading my word and just bathing myself in the word trying to find a name, but I never could find a name. And so I finally, just here, really within the past few weeks, he finally laid it on me. He was like, where your roots are from, and my roots are from Country Meadow. And so then
Hmm.
that's when I changed my name on here and I went ahead to reflect that. But so I went ahead and started with it, went ahead and started designing my shirt. And, now I feel like, okay, yes, now I feel like I can go forward. But some of the connections I don't have, especially when it comes to, even though I'm in the church, even though I'm in the community, I just don't have those connections when it comes to like strong women who can sit me down and, help me further. Like I can help, let me see, I can reach down and help those who are below me, but I don't have anybody that's above me to grab my hand and reach me up. Does that make
I
sense?
understand. I understand wholeheartedly where you're coming from.
So I've been desiring that community, and so that's why I've been building my community of Sprouties, which God's still working on me. He hasn't fully healed me. I'm still going through things, but I'm looking for people to to grow together in a safe space to discuss the things that we're talking about. That's why I said our topic yesterday was stop trying to grow in toxic soil
Mm,
and the environment that you're in, because it may not be you. It may be
right.
the environment. And that's what I've been feeling. So I was like kind of preaching to myself, girl. And it was only like
Hey,
5, 6 people, but I've been doing better because last time I would have like 0 and then 1 and 0 and 1. And but it's
it
been
be
getting
like that
better.
some days, and it just depends. Also, it depends on what time, like what time of the day you're going live.
Yeah, I've been
Um,
playing with that too. So like
So
more.
so the thing is you got to pick the most consistent time that you know that you'll be able to show up and choose that like a schedule, like a job, and say, hey, I've been trying to choose 6 o'clock, but lately it's been being pushed back here lately. But God is working on me about a lot of other things, so that's why my time getting pushed back. I'm usually here from 6 a.m. to 7, but I really realize, that 6 o'clock in the morning, a lot of people are not morning people. They just ain't out of the bed yet.
Yeah.
So of course, the number, and then of course people trying to get ready for work. They got so much going on, so it's harder for them to be able to be consistent with showing up at 6 o'clock in the morning. It's not that they don't want to support. It's just that it's not a good time for them. But it's just the time that works for me. So what I
Right.
do is I download my lives and I put them on YouTube. So for the people who are following my community, they may not necessarily be able to get it on live, but they can get the content by going to my YouTube channel and going back and watching what it is that I
Wow.
share, because
That's
they
good.
record everything that we do is recorded, so you can also download it
Okay.
and you can use it for content later. You can
Okay.
just edit it and then just put clips and things. They automatically gonna do some clips for the highlights, but you can edit it later and it'll give you room for content, so you don't have to sit here and try to figure out how I'm gonna make up all this content. You've already put it out here by being a live host. You create, you cut, splice up what you got and put it out there.
So it's not just the highlights, because I've seen that they actually send
The
the whole
whole
entire
thing.
live.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That
I'll
you
have to look at that.
at the top above the highlights, there's a place to click on it, and you can download the whole live.
Okay. I'll have to do that because I
Yeah,
haven't
and it's
branched off of
only, you have to go
YouTube
ahead
and
and move quickly because they at the end of 30 days they delete it.
okay. Okay. Okay, I'll get on that. Well, I haven't even thought about, like branching over to YouTube. Now, my husband, how old are you?
I'm 44.
44. Okay. I'll be 43 this November. My husband, he's been wanting to get on YouTube. And I'm like, I just don't know. He's not tech savvy. And my kids are. I have a 15, 14, and a 6-year-old. And they know, to a certain extent of things.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. I need that help, because I don't know, and I'm just being honest,
No, I
if I
understand.
can. I
The
don't
first
know,
thing, once
the
you create
avenues
the
to take.
account, there's a plus sign at the end that it'll come up and it'll give you the opportunity to add. It's a plus sign, and you just upload your video. But the more you create the content, and then you hit that plus sign and you upload it to your channel, you just got to start it. You got to
Okay.
start the account first. You
Okay.
create the account. Once you create the account, it'll give at the bottom on the bottom of my phone. It has a plus sign, and it'll give you the opportunity to upload to your account.
Okay. I think I have an account because I go on there, to look at other people videos, but I've never uploaded any of my videos, and
Mm-hmm.
then even when it comes to like Instagram and then especially like FB, because a lot of my family and friends are over there, and some things I'm just kind of like, I don't want them. I don't know. I guess got past the judgment thing, and so I'm not over here. A lot of them are not friends with me like they are on Facebook. I feel like I got a lot of monitoring people over there, so I haven't, went over there at all. But I definitely want to do at least YouTube.
Okay. Yeah, I got like, let me see, I got Chronicles of the Curvaceous, Ambassadors Hour. I got Breaking Free from Invisible Bars. So yeah, I got several different pages, YouTube channels that I work.
You got different accounts or different?
Yeah, different channels.
Oh, okay, okay,
It's up under my account, but I got different channels. So
okay.
a lot of it was like me and my sister, we were working on things together, and she had something that she was doing, and I just took over managing her pages. So the Breaking Free from Invisible Bars podcast is where I upload most of these TikTok videos, because I'm talking about the emotional healing and stuff like that. So I upload most of that to there. But then like I do accountability lives where I'm actually working out and I'm talking to people about taking their life back and healing and all that stuff. So that I'll put on Chronicles. But then like when I'm just teaching the word, then I'll put that on Ambassadors Hour.
Okay, okay, I got you. Different channels. Got you. Okay. I appreciate that. I never thought about branching over there.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. Wait till I tell
Anytime
my
I can help you,
husband.
I would definitely be available to do that.
I sure will. If I have any, questions when it comes to that, I'll send you a message or something
Okay,
and we'll
sound
ask
good.
you. But I appreciate you. I
I
really,
appreciate
really
you as well.
appreciate
Thank you
you.
for rocking out with me and helping me get my time in today. And I just pray that something
Yes.
that was said has impacted it. And what time are you planning to go live? What time do you usually go live?
Now, see that's what I was saying. We've been trying to play around with just in this past week, and I've had some, engagement during the morning, so like 9 a.m. And I was supposed to go live this morning at 9 because a lady wants to see me repot a plant. So I was going to do that and just, talk about the same thing that we, kind of touch on what we talked about last night while I'm repotting. But I'm still
Okay.
trying to find the sweet spot because I work third shift. I'm a third shift nurse for the
Mm-hmm.
intellectually disabled around here, and they
Mm-hmm.
live in like individual group homes, and so I go in from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. So which
Mm-hmm.
is kind of hard because it seems like the best time is like in the evening time. Because I've had some more interaction there, like 6 p.m., 7 p.m. But I also noticed that a lot of the heavy hitters are live at that time too.
Don't worry about that. No.
Okay.
Don't worry about that. You be led by the Spirit of God to where what time He wants you to be on. There's millions of people on this app. It's millions of people on this app, and the enemy that cause you to compare and make you. If you look at try to worry about when the other live host is going, you'll never go, because it's always somebody on this app that could been out here longer than you. But at the end of the day, when you find your people gonna find you, and the ones that's drawn to your voice, they're gonna come to your room.
Okay.
But you're gonna have to set a consistent time and put it in your bio so that people will know when to find you.
Okay. I think
It's
that's where
harder.
I'm at
It's
right
harder
now.
for somebody to be able to support if you're inconsistent with showing up and they don't know when. Even if you can say I'm only gonna commit, I could commit to 2 days a week at 9. You do those 2 days as if they you ain't got no rain, sleet, snow. I ain't got no choice for these 2 days a week. I'm gonna be consistent and showing up on them 2 days.
Yeah. I think
That way you
really.
don't overextend yourself, but you can build your community by just showing up those 2 days. Then
Yeah.
if the Lord leads you to add more later, then you add more. The only thing about it when it comes down to it, if you're trying to monetize it, you're trying to get to the point where you're getting a check, then you need to at least have 30 minutes a day consistently. Lord, my daddy was driving crazy. 30 minutes consistently a day. But I'm sorry, I got a call trying to come through.
I got you, girl.
You good though? I'll call him back and then I get out this phone. But at the end of the day, you just gotta pick your time, pick whatever you can commit to that, and put it in your bio so that people know how to find you and when to
Okay.
look for you.
Okay. I got you, girl. I
Yeah,
got you.
that way, and then you just play with it. You go say for the next 2 weeks or so, I'm gonna come live at 9. If 9 o'clock is a good spot for you right now, 9 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. I can give myself 9 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Then you can have the chance to actually work on your content, what you're gonna be able to, what you're talking about when you come in there, and you can show up on and give it your all those 2 days.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. See, I was thinking about going live Tuesday, Thursdays, for example, and posting Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Well,
Like
and
posting
that's your
videos.
schedule. If you want to
Okay.
do it, then you say Tuesday and Thursday. I'm going. That's what I was talking about. Tuesday and Thursday at 9. I'll be live Tuesday and Thursday. Now you put it in your bio and you work towards doing that Tuesday and Thursday live. And then Monday, Wednesday, Friday, like you said, you work on your content. You get your schedule what works for you that you could be consistent with, so that the people know when to find you.
Okay. I got you. Yeah, and then they'll know what time. I was telling my husband, just kind of like, I remember Family Matters back in the day used to come on Friday nights. And so it was like, even though it was a program, it was like we knew, what
Right.
time to tune
So that they
in.
can be able to anticipate it, right? They can know how
Right.
to, like you said, the same thing with the Family Matters analogy. They're, oh man, I'm excited because man, she gonna be on Tuesday, she gonna be on Thursday. They can't build up to it if they don't know when you're gonna come.
Right. Right. You're absolutely right. Thank you for that. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. All right, I thank you for your time. I'm gonna
No
disconnect and
problem.
go ahead, and so I don't get another call from this
All
person to
right.
keep
Well,
calling
Cindy, let me
me.
send you some more likes real quick, and you have a blessed rest of your day, and we'll
You
be in
too.
contact. We're connected now.
All right, yes, ma'am. Definitely, I'm grateful for it.
All right, girl. Be
All
blessed.
right, you be blessed. Let me disconnect you so you can keep your coins.
Okay.
All right, there you go. All right, thank you so much for coming into the room. I appreciate the support. I appreciate the encouragement. I will be back tomorrow morning, and preferably at 6 a.m. That's my goal. I'm off tomorrow. I'm still gonna be working on my conference, but I am gonna make time for you guys. So let me pray for you before I get off this live. Father, in the name of Jesus, Lord, I come before you right now, God, thanking you for this opportunity to divinely connect with your people, God. I pray, God, as we go throughout this day, that you go before us, paving the way in the realm of the Spirit, that you keep us from seeing the unseen dangers. And I pray for your peace that surpasses all understanding to rest, rule, and abide in our lives. We'll be ever mindful to give your name the praise, to give you all the glory. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. All right, you have a great day. I'll see you real soon in these TT streets.